we've been doing all right here in Newfoundland. Sunshine, the full 3-4 days of summer, we've been enjoying them. So we're good. A story from my Uncle Clem. This is my mom's twin brother. He passed away about 3 years ago before I started writing stories. But this story he told me, and I wrote a recitation on the story, was about a gentleman who lived a few communities over, and he wasn't known for, well, owning a bar of soap or having a bath or a wash or being very clean. And as it happened, this poor gentleman passed away. And when the traveling clergy came to their community and inquired locally about how this man died, the response was, well, we know we didn't drown. So based on that, I came up with this story called Paddy's Last Bath. Now, down Raisin Arm, when a new baby is born, there's lots of hot water and toil. But Paddy McBride wasn't keen to be birthed and then clean, and was born before the kettle was boiled. See, he had a great fear of, well, washing, my dear, but he was a nice youngster, said father. And whatever the opposite of a connection is called, well, that would be Paddy in water. And it wasn't no laugh giving young Paddy a bath. It was like some mad bear had got loose, and someone had snapped all his paws in a trap, and another had pulled out his tooth. Now, the McBride family did what they could for their kid. But with water kind of out of their reach, it was an annual thing they would do every spring. They would scrub him with sand from the beach. Now, time it just flew, and as young Paddy grew, his mother kept washcloths nearby. But no matter where she'd find him or try to sneak up behind him, Paddy managed to always stay dry. Now, I know what you're thinking. How's this young fella drinking when he hates to feel his skin wet? Well, he'll take a big draw on about an 11-foot straw, because that's about as close as he gets. And you'd have to be in a coma not to smell that aroma. You could tell when Paddy was near, because your stomach would urge, and then your eyes would converge if he got, say, within a gunshot of here. But now he often went out and wandered about. Wind direction, that was his trick. But one time out around, oh, the breeze died right down, and, well, 9 local pigs got right sick. Paddy didn't attend school. He was nobody's fool. His mind was ahead of his station. See, when the wind blew offshore, they threw books through his door. It was the first use of distance education. I like that one. And from a mail-order college, Paddy gained knowledge about the wind and the rain and the tide. There was no one knew better about all kinds of weather than, well, smelly old Paddy McBride. If you wanted to know if it was wet or dry snow, or if the rain would come slower or faster, well, he'd just hoist up a flag. He had a ton in a bag, like a long-distance weather forecaster. But then that terrible day, when the sea pulled away, well, Paddy knew just what that meant. The whole town must be saved from a watery grave, so he decided to let loose his full scent. Yes, up he arose and stripped off all his clothes, and he went to each and every house and around. Oh, it was too much to take, and for their own safety's sake, well, the entire population left town. And as the last person ran from the smell of that man, oh, a loud rumble came up from the bay. Now, Paddy's no Swami, but he knew a tsunami was, well, headed directly his way. And his mother couldn't be prouder as that mountain of water buried her son in that town, because if it weren't for the smell of that awful brave fella, well, hundreds of souls would be drowned. And Paddy couldn't be saved from that gigantic wave, and he died, but not from the water that flowed. It was just the thought of his skin being neat as a pin, well, made Paddy's poor heart explode. But what a big heart he had, this courageous young lad, to take on his fears like he'd done and stand up to that wave so a town could be saved. Well, that's a hero if ever there's one. So when all hands came back from that tsunami attack, well, Paddy's washed body was found. And for over 8 seasons, well, Paddy McBride, he's the reason that Bonavista Bay turned right brown. So if you have either doubt what this story's about, oh, there's proof. Paddy's had the last laugh. Because up on the top of Jiggin Hill, well, that mark is there still. It's the ring of dirt from Paddy's last bath. True story.